What's up, guys? We are back at it for video number 2 on the day today. And we have the Mayflower in the background, so y'all know it's a fishing video. So let's talk fishing. This one in particular is going to be just some advice and some tips on not losing big fish. Just proper technique on how to land big fish, so you don't have a fish spit the lure back in your face. That's a trophy sized fish for you, because that is a terrible feeling. I've been there and I don't like it. More often than I would choose to more often than I choose to admit have I lost big fish. So let's dive right into it. First tip I'm going to give you guys, this is especially geared towards the striped bass fishing community, just from what I've learned over the years of fishing for them and over the season. This is so my first piece of advice would be, when you get a take, so when a fish takes your lure and starts to run with it, don't immediately set the hook. Give it about a half second before you start, before you really tighten down and pull and start pulling on that fish. Give it about a half second. And because that fish, that striped bass are finicky fish. That fish may open and close his mouth and readjust on how he bites that lure while it's in his mouth. So you don't want to immediately get a take and then right as soon as you feel the fish start running, yank on it. You don't want to do that. Let him have it for a half second or a second, and then tighten down and yank back and set that hook. So that's tip number 1. So wait, time is your friend. Wait a half second or a second before you set that hook for that keeper size striped bass. The second one is going to be more of a technique oriented piece of advice for you guys. A lot of people lose fish because they don't keep pressure on the line, and they don't keep the line tight the way it needs to be, so that hook stays dug into their mouth. Now, the proper technique to do that, it's very simple, and I've used it throughout the years. Freshwater, saltwater, it always has applied to me, and that's you have to keep that line tense and tight. So once again, I learned this from a friend of mine who runs a boat out of Fairhaven, and he would always say, pull up, reel down. So you're pulling on the up when you're pulling that reel upwards to pull that fish towards you. Your hand is not moving the bail. You're not reeling on while you're pulling up. Now, as you go down, as that rod goes down, so as your rod goes down, that's when you reel, that's when you pull line in. So pull up, reel down. And that'll keep tension. That way, that tension, because a lot of people will pull upward and then they stop. They stop and that line goes slack. That gives that fish that half second or a second where they start to move the rod tip down and they don't reel. You have to remember, as the rod tip goes down, you're reeling line in. That half a second or a second is all that fish may need to pull that line tense and snap the line on you, or to get a little bit of freedom in his mouth with that lure, that from the hook not having pressure on it for him to spit it out. You want the line tension to remain constant the whole time you're pulling that fish in. So once again, reel down, pull up. And has always helped me keep tension on the line for these larger sized fish. You don't want to give the fish any advantage. You want to have all the leverage, all the advantage you can when you're pulling in these big fish. And like I said, losing big, trophy-sized fish or keeper-sized fish sucks. It's not a good feeling. You don't want that. But thanks again, guys. Once again, I appreciate all of the support. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe if you're into firearms and fishing videos. That is what this channel is based on. I appreciate all of the support. And as always, tight lines, and I'll see you on the next one.